Hello, good morning. It's morning again. I just wake up so early because, well, first of all, I don't sleep very well, but then I've got 3 cats and I've been here before, repeating myself. For 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Ow! Ow! Wow. Yeah, there's a reason why every Bond villain has a cat, basically, right? So, anyway, yesterday I came across this person online, an astrologer, and she's talking about the energies as they were in 2018, as they're likely to be in this year, and so forth and so on. And at some point she was saying how 2019 was going to be very dynamic and it was going to be all breakthrough and new beginnings and this, that and the other. And now it's like she's done a complete U-turn and it's, oh no, it's not about 2019. 2019 is going to be the same as 2018, and then 2020 is going to, it's all about 2020. And then this morning, it's like, oh no, 2020 is going to be the same as 2018. It's going to be about 2021 and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, I'm sat there with my coffee and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Because I started to feel really, truly quite depressed and awful, which I feel that way already anyway, on account of being super awake and knowing full well the evil and shit that's going on this planet, I mean, some of us are gifted that way by having strong Pluto energy in our charts in such a way, with Neptune as well, aspects that enables us to really see into the heart of evil, of darkness, and to know everything that is actually happening. It's not a gift, but it has to be done. Somebody's gotta do that, because it cannot be healed if it cannot be seen. But anyway, that's another story, as Rudyard Kipling said. Basically, I don't blame her, because I think it's her own shadow, that's her own doubt and her own shadow aspects coming up there, really, and maybe she's not really aware of that because she hasn't really worked through that entirely yet. But it was a good lesson for me, because I was there and I'm thinking, whoa, stop, okay, get out of that. In fact, get away from your computer, get away from that screen. And go for a nice walk in nature and go within yourself and see how you, Anika, how you are feeling about all of this. Because astrology is nice as a guidance, but it should not be taken verbatim, because it is yet another system, is it not? It's a system, it's another type of matrix of absolutes, things that are set in stone, things that are fixed. You could say, well, it's open to interpretation, but bottom line, do you know what I mean? Okay, I'm a Capricorn, born the 8th of January, Capricorn, with my ascendant Scorpio, my moon in Aries, my Mars in Aquarius, my Venus in Sagittarius, and some, oh, that means this. And because I've believed that all my life, I had a chart done many years ago, and this person said, oh, you're going to have a very difficult life because Capricorn is very karmic and heavy and ooh, and Scorpio and ooh, and it was all this heavy duty nasty shit. Now, I have had quite a difficult life, haven't we all? Do you know what I mean? I bet you there's some Leo out there with his ascendant in, I don't know, Aquarius, who's having a really hard time, You get what I'm saying. We need to be so aware, I think, of the fact that we live in a matrix. It's a prison of kinds, and within that prison there are a multitude of prisons, and they all live in our head. And it's time to break away from that, because ultimately it's an illusion and it's bullshit, and it's there to keep us trapped in beliefs. Beliefs are programs. That's all they are. They are programs. And we've been giving our power away to all these programs for so long that we don't even know how to tap into our own power most of the time. And even for those who know how to tap into our own power, we find these programs coming up, like for me, because I was raised in a born-again Christian household, it's this, how dare you think of yourself as powerful, God will smite you down for that. How dare you think that you can create your own reality? How dare you, God will punish you, or something bad will happen. I mean, it's endless. It's endless, these. It's like, you know, when you go to, like you go to a gallery, like a shooting gallery, like you have in America. You don't have them in England. You know, you go there, a gun range, and you get these plastic or paper people that go and you shoot them, poof, and then another one comes up and poof, and so forth and so on. Well, it's a bit like that. We have to eliminate these things even when they come up, and they keep coming up. For me, there's a good test, a kind of litmus test that you can do. You start by getting a mirror, and you stand in front of the mirror, you sit, and you look at your own image, and you tell yourself that, you say, I love you, you are beautiful. See how that makes you feel. There are these are good tests. You can say to yourself, right, what is it I really, really want? Get a pen and paper and think about what you really want, truly. And see how that makes you feel. Inevitably, you're going to get a feeling of, oh, you don't deserve that, or that isn't possible, you can't have that, you're not good enough. There are, and these are all programs designed to keep you trapped, designed to keep you disempowered and in the dark and on your knees, thinking that life happens to you and that you are merely here to take it on the chin and to live, grow old, get sick and die, basically, because that is what this reality is all about. Now, 2018 and the years preceding that were all about identifying all these different programs, especially the biggest ones, the biggest obstacles in our way, you know, those really big motherfucking rocks sitting there, or like, I don't know, like giant frogs, like Jabba the Hutt sitting there saying, you're not going to get past me. And working through that, releasing. And it's been absolute hell, but worth it. So then you get to a point where you begin to realize that, hey, reality isn't real. It morphs all the time. Maybe I am a powerful creator being. Maybe reality morphs according to my focus and my will. Maybe I am here to do something quite amazing. And maybe I'm very important, and maybe I matter, and maybe I'm powerful beyond measure. Now, you're still going to get loads of stuff coming in saying, oh, that's crazy, you're insane, and you should go and take your meds, or you're just, God's going to smite you, or you know, well, you can't have 7 billion people creating 7 billion different realities, and, you know, mundane reality programming. Well, that's not possible. Anything is possible. Anything. Doesn't matter how crazy, how absurd, how deliriously insane. It's all entirely possible if you believe that it is. But if you are still stuck in mundane reality programming, as in 1 and 1 is 2, then you need to go back inside yourself and deal with that shit, because no, that's not that is not of the light. That is matrix programming. Anything is possible, and we are creator beings, we are magical beings. We have an imagination that for many, many years, in fact all our life, has been hijacked, especially those of us who as children were shoved in front of televisions. I mean, I wasn't so much, thankfully. I spent a lot of time outside in nature and whatnot, but there were children even people of my age, who were just basically shoved in front of a TV, and that kills imagination. Schools kill imagination. Well, they don't kill it, but it goes into a kind of comatose state. So 2019, this is how I feel it very strongly, is all about coming into our power more and more and more, and starting to see the results. Yeah, because 2018 was such hard work, and in fact 2017 was, and 2016 was. For me, the last, 14 years have been fucking hard work. My whole life has been hard work, really. You know, and now it's time to see the dividends of all of that work. That is what I feel. It's not a case of waiting for 2020 or 2021 and then 2021 comes and they'll say, oh, now it's 2022 or 2029 or whatever, you know. This is kind of gaslighting. It is, and it's disempowering. And I say, sod that. No, it's here and it's now. Always. And it's always within us. The power comes from within, and it is here and it is now. Always. You know, if you want to know where you're at with regards to trusting yourself, and with regards to trusting that you are powerful and that you can imagine into being and bring forth into being anything, get that mirror and start telling yourself to your face that you love yourself, that you are precious, etc., etc. See how that makes you feel. Always a good place to start. Or get your pen and paper and start writing down. Think about what it is you really want. If you have this other voice in there going, well, but you can't really, you're going to have to compromise, you can't really blah, blah, blah. Say, no, what is it I really, really want? Even if it seems completely crazy, write it down, write it all down. And then start working through all the resistance that comes up, telling you can't have this because. Start plowing through that. Start looking that shit in the face, because that is mundane reality programming. It is guilt. You're guilty, you're bad, the world is in a mess and it's all your fault. It's gaslighting people, you know what I mean? And we need to keep clearing that shit, because this year truly is about bringing in the harvest, you know, starting to see the results of all the hard work that we've been putting in. You know. Yeah, that is what I feel, and I feel that very, very strongly. And love is what fuels this journey. Love. You see, evil only thrives in an absence of love, and it's been doing that very well, because life, as we have known it, this dull, I mean boring, frankly, boring as fuck, dull duress that people call life. Appalling. No, there's not a great deal of love at all. There is love, which is why this show is still on the road, because if love wasn't at all, if love did not exist at all and evil always won, it would literally implode. You know, like if you get a plastic bag and you suck all the air out of it, it goes, right? Like cellophane packaging, like that. Love has kept this whole thing going somehow, but okay, enough of that already. I mean, because I was thinking about this yesterday, how dull life is. I mean, yeah, there's entertainment, right? So people go to the cinema to invariably be mind controlled by subliminal messaging, mundane reality programming, and violence and sexual depravity and whatnot. Or people go to the bowling alley, or people go and eat themselves into a state of apoplexy. Or we go in England, a lot of people go to the pub and drink. Or get together with friends that aren't really friends and talk absolute rubbish, and sit around listening to this rubbish thinking, oh, why am I here? Who are these people? What am I doing to myself? Because truth be told, you know, you have to leave all that behind. You end up, this path of awakening it can be very lonely. It can be extremely isolating and extremely lonely, and you find yourself with no friends. So you're there thinking, nowhere to go, nothing to do. I mean, for me, it's like, even like last year, I barely did any art because I felt so depressed. I felt so in the dark and so in so much pain. I tried many times and I just couldn't do it. I got through last year by facing all the stuff and working through it genuinely, by facing it, working through it, getting a lot of help from spirit, from my true self. But yeah, it's been really, really tough. And it's like in Star Wars, you know, when they fall into the garbage thing and the walls start coming in closer and closer and closer. Life is a bit like that. It feels that way. For most people, happiness is a temporary absence of trouble. It's a temporary reprieve. Oh, it's weekend, I don't have to go to that job I hate. I feel happy. That's not happiness. Or it's like, you know, I was in a shitload of trouble because I was in terrible debt and I've paid off most of my debts, so I'm happy now. See, that is not happiness. That isn't happiness. Happiness is infinite creativity. Happiness is knowing that you walked your path, you fulfilled your quest and your purpose, and you look around you and you see the most incredible, phantasmagorically incredible, beautiful, beyond any words, creation that you have helped to create, or that you've created entirely by yourself, because it is your universe, your world. I don't know, whatever works for you. That is what this is all about. Life, it's not about, oh, we must change the system and make it a little bit better, or Trump is come to save us all, or, you know, we must all listen to pastor blah 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 of the church or that church. You know, I've noticed this a lot about the truth movements lately, actually. Religion, God. I mean, I can't get my head around that at all. It's like you can be awake and look around and be awake, yet you still adhere to the patriarchal, dark, abusive, violent religions, you know, like Islam or Christianity. God is love. I mean, that is the ultimate gaslighting operation, because if love is violent, manipulative, gaslighting, abuse, then well, yeah. But obviously these people have real trouble letting go of that. It just goes to show how difficult it is for us to really get to a point of trusting ourselves, to really get to a point of realizing that this matrix is full of programs. You get through one and there's another one. You get through that, there's another one. We have to keep doing that. We have to keep letting go, keep working through that shit, because freedom is out of this matrix altogether. It's not about 5D. It's not about fixing anything. It's not about redemption either, because we haven't done anything wrong. See, in essence, it's not even about forgiveness. It's about knowing that we are pure and that we are powerful and that we can take off now and create like alchemy, like wizards, like shapeshifters. That's what we're here for. And it's not going to happen, next year, maybe, if we're very, very good. Or if we're very, very humble and grovel on our knees in the dark, maybe God will let us have that. That is all bullshit, and it's evil. None of that will do at all. It's disgusting. Yet so many people are still stuck in that. But that's okay. That's okay. They'll get out by the by. But for some of us, 2019 is the year where it's taking off. It's taking off. So it's not about sitting around waiting. It's about here, now, tapping into that power, using our imagination, and love, self-love, self-care, love. And to give that love and that forgiveness and that choice to not condemn to the world around us as well. Because yes, even the organic portals, well, there is not a damn thing we can do for them. They're not real, they're not sold, so in the reset, poof, gone. But for those who are sold, who are really struggling, and there are, not everybody with a soul is fully awake at all, and a lot of them are struggling, and a lot of them are narcissistic, because when you've had narcissistic parents, you're likely to be quite narcissistic yourself, and you have to work through that. So we're going to come across people that are going to get our hackles up. Again, that also works two ways, as we know, but it's about non-condemnation, it's about love. It is. That doesn't mean we're not discerning, we are discerning. You know, we are discerning, and we do walk away when something is wrong, when something feels wrong, when something feels off. We speak out and we act when that is required. That is true, it's part of, you know, part of the journey. We're not meant to be apathetic and just let it all go down. That is not what I'm saying, but it's important to forgive ourselves and to stop punishing ourselves, and it's important to forgive others and stop punishing them, because putting more darkness into the world is not what we're about. You know, we're about putting love into this world, because that is the only energy that's going to sort this out now, and that's what it's all about in 2019. But if you see a man kicking his dog, you're going to do something about it, of course. If you know of somebody who's abusing children, who's got a shitload of child porn, you're going to do something about that, of course. And yeah, there are people, profoundly evil people, but they're most likely organic portals, because people like Ted Bundy or whatnot, I mean, of course they're organic portals, they're evil and they don't have a soul. They're programs designed to flood this reality with darkness and to keep that, you know, to keep that whole system working. It's very difficult to put into words, but I see it, I know how that works. But we're here to pump love into the world, you see, and that counteracts, and it's more powerful now than ever before, because we've done so much work and we've cleared out so much crap. Therefore our focus and our will is a lot stronger, because the hijack of no you can't and no you mustn't and all that is no longer able to latch on anywhere near as strongly as it used to in the past, because we've grown stronger. Our will, our free will, has grown a lot stronger. So we need to just keep doing that. But yeah, January, it's always a shitty year anyway, it's January, I find. And then February and March, much lighter, I feel. I could be wrong, hey, you know, I'm not the oracle at Delphi or anything, you know, but I feel that strongly. I do feel that strongly. So, you know, let's not listen to any people that tell us these kind of like carrot stick things of, oh, it won't happen yet, it'll happen then, and it's always somewhere in the future. And so people end up just passively, oh, hanging in there. Let's not bother with that at all. It's here, now. And yet get that mirror and start talking to yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror. See how that makes you feel. You'll know where you need to go within yourself to do the work. Start writing down exactly what it is you want, regardless of what the shadow tells you, you know, about that, because that's just bullshit. And start using your imaginations. I mean, I've been imagining all kinds of funky stuff like hover houses, you know, a hover house, a house that isn't set on, you know, built on the ground, but a house that's built on some sort of platform that can move anywhere, you know. Say you're hovering above England and you think, actually, I fancy hovering above Australia, so if you go to Australia. And this is, by the way, in a world that turns out to be so much bigger than we thought, because we've all been told, haven't we, that the earth is round and there's a finite amount of land and sea, and that's all there is. Well, apart from all the other planets out there. Well, I that scenario does not resonate with me, not at all. I say the earth is flat. I reckon it is. I can't prove it. I could be completely wrong, but that's just what resonates with me. And that there are lands beyond Australia, beyond anywhere. There's much more land, and there's sea, and there's all kinds of stuff going on, and people and beings and other realities and other all kinds. I see infinite possibility. I see all kinds of really funky, incredible stuff, man. I do, but I can't really put it into words. I see it, and I'm spinning it, and I'm drawing it in, and I'm reeling it in, and I'm bringing it into form. And I'm just going to defiantly keep doing that. You know, and I want to inspire you out there to do the same thing. Get creative, people. I know I just said that 2018 I've barely been able to do any art, but, and it's true, it was a very heavy, dark year, but I'm beginning to feel much more creative now. But now it's images in my head, you know, like the hover house, which, by the way, is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Like the TARDIS. Do you remember the TARDIS, Doctor Who? The hover house, yeah, it's cool. You could live in a kind of like an SUV, hover SUV, and get in. It's like a really nice home inside. And you can pull the lever or press a button and say, Melbourne, Australia, and whoosh, you're there. Or you could... It will take you out above and beyond to the I don't know, the pink sphere, golden sea place, the sea made of liquid gold, and the pink skies, and the 4 moons, and the blue trees with these weird glittery fruits dangling off. I don't know. Anywhere, anything. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day, because I don't know, if I keep on babbling I'll start to sound like a confused parrot trying to give the Gettysburg Address or something. I'm going to go for a nice walk today, and I'm going to support myself and love myself as much as I can. And I hope that wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, you will do the same, because you're all beautiful people. And you're very important, you know, you're very precious. And it's all going to work out. Let's not get stuck in these gaslighty, nefarious, carrot stick scenarios, right? Because that is certainly not of the light. We're not doing that. It's upwards and onwards now, people. We can do it. We're ready. Okay?